All right, hey, DanLanPro here. You know I don't do a lot of lives, but when I do a live, I like to come on here and talk a little bit about technology and some of the things that interest me as far as some of the things that might be going on in life, some of the things I can share with people that they may be able to relate to. I'm still posting our AI stepping clips. So I reposted some clips on Don Vick. I had seen Don Vick a couple of weeks ago, and he said he hadn't seen those clips that I earlier had posted. And so I've been reposting those without the music and things like that. So I've been sending them to him in share links and copy links. So I hope he's getting to see those clips and some of the information that he shares that we did in interviews a while ago. Another thing I heard, and I just heard this through hearsay, that they closed the 50-yard line for whatever reasons. There's a lot of controversy surrounding that, with people having different opinions about why they might have closed that historic spot on the south side of Chicago as far as the dance community, dating all the way back to the El Matador and the history of dance or social life in Chicago. So I'm hoping, or pretty sure, that eventually they'll do whatever they need to do to reopen that historic spot and people can go back and enjoy themselves, because they're pretty much like family over there. I used to frequent that spot many years ago when I was myself out there doing my stepping thing. And like I shared on one of the posts, we used to dance until the wee hours of the night. Then we leave the 50-yard line and we go down to the other place. We dance till early in the morning. Sometimes, you know, the sun be coming up when you finally get home. And that's just the way it was back then. So those are some of the things we done as young people or younger people. And we really used to enjoy ourselves. But, you know, you never know where God calling you. So sometimes you kind of curtail that type of behavior. It's not nothing against it. You don't judge it. You enjoy it while you're out there. It's not wholesome. It's not doing anything demonic or out of the way. It's just what people want to do. So as you grow, you learn, and sometimes our behaviors change in the places that we frequent or the environments that we enjoy. So that's one of the things. Another things I heard a few of the stepping organizations are coming to or calling to close on their events. And some of them are those that we all started together, and we were all young doing our different things. Some people were promoters, some people were DJs. Me, myself, I was doing a video thing. And the thing about one of the historic organizations that's coming to a pretty much, you know, you want to enjoy your life. You want to enjoy. You put all the time in that you could put in. But one of the things that happened at this particular event years ago that's when we first started using those cameras to get out on the floor with the dance contestants. So you see now, like I always say, people got cell phones, iPhones, and they do that particular procedure or method of capturing dance footage by being out on the floor. But we had a technique to it, and hopefully people, as I hear sometimes, they're not as respectful of the contestants when they trying to film. And sometimes I've seen footage where it's just, you know, it's just crossing the lines as far as professionalism, where you can't really focus on the contestants or the people performing the dance, because you got so many people trying to cover the actual performance. So sometimes it looked like a wedding shoot, a wedding first dance or something, because you got so many people out there trying to capture it, that they pretty much are hindering the contestants from moving around the floor, which is something that we never did. And we used to discuss it, you know, especially when I used to use the second cameraman. We used to discuss the fact that not only should you stay out the contestant's way, that I shouldn't see you in my shots as far as how I'm capturing. So when you're capturing or I'm capturing, neither one of us should be in the shots. One of us should be high, one of us should be low. If you're on the left and I'm on the right, we should angle our camera as well. We focus solely on the contestants, or sometimes pan away to the promoter or the announcer or the spokesperson. Anyway, those are just some things I usually share in tutorials, or some of the things that we post throughout our different channels. But you know why I came on here today? I came on here today because I said I was going to start coming on here so people can discuss different topics and different subjects. But I came on here today because I went to one of the things at the church, and it was it's a men's ministry. It was pretty cool. It was talking about Jacob and Esau and how he changed, or Esau swapped his birthright, or didn't respect his birthright, for a bowl of soup, which is something that, people do. And some of the questions they ask, it's never enough time for everybody to respond. So, I'm just one of them people that when I don't get a chance to respond, I already know that God has blessed me with platforms. Well, I'm going to come talk about it anyway. So I'm mindful and respectful of that fact. So it never takes me out of my emotional state, or out of my cool, when I don't get a chance to respond, because even when I'm not talking or when I'm not responding, I get a chance to hear something that's just as beneficial as what I might have said or wanted to say. And like now, I get to say it later. So when it comes to Esau and Jacob, I do read things on my own, or study things on my own. As they say, study and show yourself approved. So I will study, and usually I get a revelation that I might not have got as something as cool as a men's ministry, or something as cool as a group where you are dealing with a whole lot of individuals trying to get their points and opinions across. So you can't, it's like moderating anything. You can't get everybody. So you try to get the ones that, they're on topic or whatever it is. But anyway, I kept that revelation with me, and I said I was going to come on later and share it on my platforms. And one thing about Esau and Jacob that was different from that men's ministry that I attended today was the fact that we don't all get the same revelation. So what I normally get from Esau is, not only did he disrespect his birthright, and not only did he do some things in order to swap that birthright with his brother Jacob, some of the things that had been predestined or predestined by God, he was also very hungry, and he had an appetite. So if you think about Esau and why he swapped his birthright, think about the fact that he was hungry and he had appetite. So like most of us, if you look at some of our faults, some of our addictions, some of the things that we worship, some of the idolatry that we fall into, you'll see that we have that appetite. So you can have an appetite for drugs, alcohol, women, partying. You can have an appetite for so many different things. And that's pretty much what Esau sometimes represent to me. It's like he was out working. That's like working in the fields, working in the job, working in the world, being out, man, just struggling, trying to make it. And when you come in, Jack, you hungry, you got an appetite for whatever it is. And if you got an appetite for something, or you hungry for something, it don't matter who presented to you. Like some of the testimonies I won't share because those are people's personal business. But if you got an appetite for fine women, or you got an appetite for drugs, or you got an appetite for partying, you got an appetite, whatever it is, you might have an appetite for ambition, greed, gluttony, you name it. That appetite, that hunger for something that you just know you got to have, because that appetite is, some people call it desire. They call it so many different things. But if you got that appetite, then yes, you're in a vulnerable state where you will compromise your birthright, or you will compromise something that may affect you or impact you in the future, the same as Esau. So that is a revelation that, when I raise my hand, I'm usually raising my hand to speak something, or a revelation that I might have got from a lesson that others may have not shared or pointed out. And if I see that and feel that, I'm going to share that if I'm in that environment or with that group. And that's exactly why I raise my hand. Now, if you don't get your chance to talk, don't take it personal. I never do. In the past, I used to be like, I know you saw my hand. But now I'm pretty cool, because the other guys gave testimonies that we might not have gotten to if me or any others might have said something else that could have changed the direction or the flow of that particular thing. But anyway, following all of that, I just wanted to share that with you, that revelation, because I had to get it out, because I got it. They didn't give it to me for nothing. But anyway, following that, we got a chance we ate good. We got a chance to play some chess. So the fellas played chess. I hadn't played chess prior to playing a gentleman by the name of Eddie. I had played him a couple of months ago to a stalemate. And prior to that, I hadn't played chess in years, probably decades. And we had a pretty good game at the park one time. So he was eager to get back to me, but he was playing somebody else. And I was playing his other brother. He one of them guys, I forgot what he called it, but they had a little clock where they play chess according to that clock. So, man, I'm moving. He like five moves ahead of me. He was speed dial. He was on speed dial, but he was pretty good, and I respect his game. So, I'm gonna be having nightmares tonight about them checkmates he was putting on me. But anyway, it was all fun, and I look forward to us doing that again. So it really, really was a great Saturday morning. So I just wanted to share that as well. Now, let me switch up. Let me switch to my AI, because y'all know I'm gonna get into a little technology, because that's what I'm all about. So we've been sharing a lot of different things about AI over the years, a couple of years now, and I really enjoy making a lot of different things now. And it's I can't even keep up, because I used to put the tutorials up, but now I can't even keep up with the speed this artificial intelligence thing is going. So now we're on the music thing. So like the music you hear on here is the music that I myself incorporated or made. I like to make my own jazz music now. And if you know just a little bit or just enough, depending on what software you're using, now you got the vocals, you can change things, just change that one lyric, change that one sound. You can switch from a particular mood or style into another one and do it seamlessly. And it's just so beautiful, some of the things. Now, what that says about the music industry, I don't get into all of that. I don't get into politics of all that, because we can predict what AI is capable of doing as far as replacing human behavior. But here's what I want to break down, because I've been hearing in the dance community a lot about AI, or as people say, ChatGPT. And I think I shared this in the live when I was out riding my bike. People usually just see like chatbots. They just see it as ChatGPT. They don't understand that. I won't say they don't understand, because I don't know other people. But I'm gonna say sometimes it sounds like once we get something in our mind or image in our mind, we think that that's the only thing. So that first is all we associate with. But now you don't just have ChatGPT. You got Claude, you got so many things. You got Google AI, you got a number of things that will give you chatbots. It will give you information, algorithms will find information. You can prompt it to do so many different things, voice generators, video generators, music generators, you name it, it can do it. You can make avatars now. I can make avatars as far as hosts. And these things are realistic. So I've shared GANs with you as far as how these things check until it can make a realistic image or a realistic video as far as the content that you're trying to present. But here's what I'm gonna do, because I didn't have time to do it when I was riding my bike the other day, not with the clarity that I want to do it. So we're gonna break AI down into 3 different types of AI, so we can understand that, like ChatGPT, it's not a just general statement as far as artificial intelligence, or as far as data centers or databases or models and how we train deep fake technology and some of the other terminology that you might hear surrounding artificial intelligence. So instead of just saying AI, we have to be specific. So if you talk to or listen to or study some of the AI experts as far as both sides of the fence on their views and opinions about AI, some of them have done studies on the safety as far as AI, the dangers, the threats. When you get into it, they break it down so you can understand it in those 3 different functions or those 3 different definitions. So we won't just think AI is some general statement or some general technology that applies to all artificial intelligence. So for example, we start with AI narrow. AI narrow is basically what we mostly use now, but we're pretty much specific about what we prompt AI to do. So I might want it to change my voice. I might want to put it in another language. I might want to get some information from a data center, or I want my algorithms to go find me certain information, draw me certain images, do pictures, even medicine, law, you name it. As long as you're specific, you're being narrow, AI can do what you want it to do safely. Now, then you got general AI, which is basically moving into a more advanced type of AI past narrative, narrow AI. When you get into general AI, you're allowing this artificial intelligence to perform things that we normally perform as far as our cognitive senses, as far as the things that we can do as human beings. So there's a little threat there and there's a little danger there, because when they start replacing our cognitive abilities, then we got a problem, because we're competing with AI. So I shared the statistics as far as the students who coming out of school now. Statistics show that 30% are finding difficulties finding entry-level jobs. They also used people who actually lose their job to AI. A lot of them have to return to the entry level and try to get or compete for those same jobs that they're competing with those students coming out of school. So when you take all that into account, as we advance more and more into artificial intelligence, whether it's narrow, generative, or super intelligence, these numbers are going to grow, or they're anticipated or projected to grow. So now, when we get into what they call super intelligence, this is AI super intelligence. So this is the one that's danger. This is the one that the experts, and a lot of them used to work for these companies as far as creating ChatGPT and some of the other models, or the things that they train this information on. When you get to super intelligence, this is where AI is capable of doing all of these performances itself. It doesn't need any prompts. It doesn't need anybody to guide it. It can start producing this stuff itself. So you hear a lot of these experts warning about, if we don't put the fail safes in there, we don't put anything in there to either stop messing around with super intelligence, or to be able to at least try to control it, which a lot of them say is impossible, then we're going to have a problem. So what I'm trying to do is break it down, so we can't just say AI this, AI that, AI taking my job. What kind of AI? So one of the best examples that I heard was, take a disease. With narrow AI, I can say, AI, I want you to give me as many solutions to solving the common cold. No, we're going to use breast cancer. Breast cancer. I want you to give me as many solutions that you can come up with on how I can solve breast cancer. I'm specific to breast cancer. Now, AI will compute until it finds all of those solutions and present it to me in those prompts or chatbots until it gives me all those answers. And then I can do this, and then it'll do so with certain parameters that I won't step outside of. But now, if I get into general AI, or if I get into super intelligence AI, to say, give me all your cures to solve cancer without being specific as to what type, whether it's breast cancer, prostate cancer, if I do not be specific, if I do not give it a narrow prompt, it will go and find the same solutions. However, it will not do so in a safe manner. It will not do so within narrow parameters or things that it's been instructed not to go outside of. So in other words, if it feels that it needs to eliminate humanity in order to cure cancer, that's exactly what it will do. That's what it will compute. That's where it will find how to solve that problem, and it will present that problem. So when we get on those levels, when we can't be specific or narrow, when we just general or super, that's what they're warning you about AI. So once we understand those three different types of AI, then we can know what's safe and what's not safe. We can understand AI past just general statements. And that's the same with chatbots. We have to understand where this information comes from. So you might get something from Google AI that ChatGPT might give you in a different context. And that goes for Claude and all the rest of them. So these things can build websites now, build movies, build songs. I mean, you see it, and you see that there is some impact on the work environment, on the music industry, on the religious industry. On the religious community. Everywhere you look, there's some type of artificial intelligence, even narrow artificial intelligence, that's having an impact on society. We just have to understand that these are tools, no different than when they made the web, except now you're not creating a online web, you're actually reproducing humanity. You're giving an artificial model or train of humanity the algorithm can tap into and do the same thing that we do through neurology, through neurons. AI can impersonate what we do. And when it gets to the point where it don't need our instructions or prompts to do that, that's what they're saying. It's dangerous. So those are just some of the things that I mess around with, and I do so with art. So you hear me or you see me create Chicago pop art, stuff like that, or you see me still do things with stepping, because those are the things that I started out doing way back when I started doing film or putting stepping on the internet. My thing was to mix or to integrate stepping with technology at the time, because that wasn't the case. You know, like you see people handing out pluggers. I just saw a vision that okay, instead of handing out pluggers, if I make one advertisement and ship it out in emails, et cetera, then you can get that information to 1,000 people instead of going around putting that on cars. I mean, it's a historic thing in the community to put pluggers out and to put flyers on tables and everything like that. But when you come to technology, I can reach more people with a email blast back in the day, or a website, or some type of marketing tool online than I could with a flyer. And it was the same thing with video. Instead of going around showing people how to dance, you can make one VHS tape. People could order that tape, or later on CD, or later on DVD, and they can see the dance. The same with websites. Instead of trying to do all that, just make one instructional video, put it online. They can see the clips, they can see the countings, they can see the numbers, and move from there. So it's so many things that we were able to do by integrating technology with stepping in order to move the community or the culture away or outside of the normal, or what we knew as normal, past the pluggers and the flyers and just going around showing people how to dance. So now when you get into other levels of some of the things that I've indulged in the years, or God has blessed me to do, as well as educate myself as far as interdisciplinary approaches to different problems and solving those problems through that interdisciplinary method, then it's the same thing. I integrate these artificial intelligence, narrow artificial intelligence programs and softwares with graphics, with video, to come up with ways to move that same initiative forward as far as how I present the dance culture or social media. But also had some transformations take place there as far as my interests, because no longer did I just restrict that to stepping. I went into the social dance, or the history of African-American social dance, which broadened my horizons as far as how some of those things are connected to the stepping culture or community, or the history behind the things that we do in that culture community. So the bottom line is being able to integrate all that content and information and data, which is all artificial intelligence does on all three platforms or levels, is integrate information in order to find a solution to whatever your problem is. So if you ask a chatbot how to get from here to New York, then it's trying to solve the problem that you have. How do I get from here to New York? So any question that you can come up with is seen or computed as a problem. And my objective as artificial intelligence to emulate human beings, which is to find a solution to that problem. The difference is sometimes we get tired. We've been working all week. We're not really trying to keep figuring that problem out. Whereas artificial intelligence, it computes and computes and computes and computes until it finds a solution to whatever problem that you asked it. That's why sometimes when you prompt it with a question or something that you want, you see that it can give you your answer or your solution. And if you don't like it, you can say, recalibrate, you can enter that, put it, make it smaller, make it shorter, make it longer. It goes out and finds that information or that data, which goes back to data centers. And then it gives you a different response to the same problem. But it has one objective, and that is to solve whatever the problem is that you either prompted it as far as the instructions that you wanted to perform, or the question or the problem that you had that you asked it to solve. So it's no different than in the past. It's just that artificial intelligence is performing these tasks. So I see it just like a wedding. Your problem is, how do I compile all the things that happened at my wedding and put it into a video? So my job as a videographer was to solve your problem by taking the cutting of the cake, by taking the first dance, by taking the walk down the aisle, by taking who giving this bride away to kiss, all of that. Compile that into a video that can solve your problem. How can I tell the story of my wedding? I want that problem solved. So now we have artificial intelligence performing these tasks based on our instructions, which people anticipate one day you won't even have to tell it to do it. It'll be able to do it on its own, which is what people are afraid of. So I just want to come on here and share that. So whether it's something religious, like I shared Esau and Jacob, or whether it's artificial intelligence or any information that I may have or want to share with others, I'm pretty sure is people that have the same views, opinions, perspectives, or initiatives or objectives that you might have. And that's all social media do. It just put us in different groups as far as our interests, where we might have something in common. It allows us to communicate amongst each other, and we can grow from that. We can be toxic from that. It's our choice. So I just choose to try to find the positive in some of these things and share it with other people, and come on here and talk about it, get it on out. Instead of me sitting up going, hey, didn't nobody want to hear my view of Esau and Jacob? That's toxic to me. Whereas they just come home and share it. There's somebody else that may have got that same revelation or may hear it now that didn't hear it then. And they have not just that one tunnel silo perspective of Esau and Jacob, but they get a different perspective, which they might have something different from those two perspectives. It may be people, whoever hear that story or read that story may get 20 different positive revelations from it that they can use in their daily life. And that's basically, to me, what a lot of divine or spiritual information is about. You read, you study, and you find out different things that you may not have known because it was told in somebody else's interpretation and not the revelation that you might have got or you might need in order to benefit your life. So when I see Esau from the perspective of hunger and appetite, I see it differently from him just disrespecting his birthright or not appreciating his birthright. I see it that he was hungry and he had appetite, and we have to be careful what we are hungry and have appetites for, because that appetite, as some people testify, can lead to some ramifications later that may stick with us forever. I know I can testify to that fact. Some decisions I've made out of hunger or appetite that has impacted me for a lifetime, and still swims around, you know what I'm saying, in your head and in your heart right now, whether it's my military experience, job experiences, relationship experiences. I can relate to that, being hungry, having that appetite. Yeah, see? So we don't always get to share what we want to share, depending on what environments we are in. But here's a word that was shared also at this ministry that I attended today, and it was sovereignty. And they was talking in terms of sovereignty, how it pertains to God. But sometimes you have to think of sovereignty, how it pertains to you. You can, sometimes people are not respectful or mindful of your sovereignty, that you don't fit into the normal. You don't fit into the narrative. And I'm just one of them people, after years and years of experience, then I'm not trying to fit into, when the narrative is always controlled in a certain way, I'm not trying to fit into that narrative. Like, I can't just accept people's interpretation of certain things without going to study it or questioning it in some kind of way, but a positive way, opposed to being all emotional or being logical or too confrontational or debating everything. That's not my objective. My objective is to learn. And when you can learn, you have to study to learn. So sometimes you have to look at things from different perspectives. And basically, that's what interdisciplinary studies is all about, looking at things from different perspectives. And the example that they gave for that is like building a house. If the electrician think he's smarter than a plumber, and the plumber think he's smarter than a carpenter, you see, and the carpenter think he's smarter than a roofer, you're gonna have problems with that house later on. But when you have all those people that can respect each other's opinion on the best way for them to all build that house, and they can integrate those skills, and they can all respect each other's narratives and perspectives and expertise, you're gonna have a pretty sturdy house when it's over with, because they integrated all of that. But when you have that multi or that silo, I'm the plumber and I know better than everybody else, I'm the electrician and I know better, you're gonna have problems with that house. Take my word for it, because it's something that the electrician or the roofer was trying to say, that particular person was too closed-minded or prideful or arrogant to listen to, because their objective is that I'm the only one here that knows how to build a house. Well, I try to share that if you the only one know how to build a house, then why did God bless them with the skill that they have, and bless that one with the skill that they have, and that one with the skill that they have, and want all y'all to work on one accord to build this house? He didn't say work on your accord. He said work on one accord as a group, on one accord, and you can build that house, and you can do anything else. You can. I remember being on a communication team. When you do a video, you need a script. You see, you need a cameraman, you need a photographer, you need talent, you need sound, you need so many different things to make that video. So what happens when the cameraman come in and think he's the only one that knows how to make a video? And a lot of times the person that's in it just demanding to be the leader on the video don't even know how to make video, because they don't know how important the sound is to the video. So now they got a video, it looks great and it sounds horrible. And anybody that knows how to make video know you can have the best video in the world, but if the sound is messed up, it's trash. Whereas I can have a video with bad imagery, but it can have good sound. We know that in the industry that you can do that and get away with it slightly. People will critique it with bad imagery as long as they got good sound, but bad sound. See, so some of the things that some people might know about a particular thing, and they share it with other people that's trying to give their input, it'll come out better for you. So the last thing I'm gonna share is systems. We live by systems, whether it's a religious system, whether it's a political system, you name it, military systems, we live by systems. Like I used to study HVAC. HVAC is a closed loop. You cannot have any problems with your air conditioner unless that closed loop is interrupted, where the freon can escape that closed loop, which is not capable of taking the heat out of the house. See, but most systems must be open. They must have a place for input. If they don't have a place for input, they don't have a place for change. If you notice an air conditioner, if it runs for 20 years without that loop being interrupted, it will never change that system. That system will remain the same forever. But if you want to change a system, you have to have a place for inputs. Whether that input is through something you touch, something you smell, something you taste, there has to be access. Right now, if I take a cube of sugar and eat it, it will change my whole system in some kind of way. Whether it's my stomach, my blood levels, it will change something in my system. And it's the same with smell. If I smell smoke, if anything can enter my system through those inputs, it can change my system. So it's the same thing with thoughts. It's the same thing with things that we hear, the things that we allow to come into our systems to change things about us daily. So what happens, as they say in the Bible, hearing is believing. It didn't say what you hearing. So if you're listening to a fool, you're going to eventually believe him, something, because hearing is believing. So if you listen to a fool long enough, you're going to start believing what that fool is saying. So if that fool is telling you something incorrect, or it's misinformation, or it's prideful or deceitful or manipulative, if you listen long enough, if I talk to you right now, and just keep saying every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, never give you a break from listening to me, you're going to start believing some of the stuff I say. So sometimes you got to step back. When you step back and really think about it, then what am I allowing into my system? So sometimes you got to tell yourself, I didn't heard enough from this person for right now or for this week. See, so I don't want to hear you tomorrow and the next day and the next day, because now I think you're trying to program me, or you're trying to impose upon me, or you're trying to put something in my system that's going to change my views and opinions about something that I may very have towards you. You see, so inputs into your system will change your system. If you eat something right now, or you smell something or touch something, it's just so many ways to put something in your system, but it's always good to know what you're putting in your system, whether it's positive or negative. Just like food, diet. We can't sit up and eat bad food all day and wonder why we have health problems. It's what you putting in your system. It's changing your system every time you put bad food in it. You cannot take stuff out of your system that won't change your system. If I take one thing out of my system, it changes that system. So think in terms of all systems function pretty much the same way, unless it's a closed loop. Who walks around only knowing what they knew when they was 3 years old? That's a good question, huh? Because there's some people that they have closed that system off at a certain point in life, and they've remained in that state for that long period of time. They have access points, they have input points, but they don't use them. They close them off. They block them off in some kind of way. So I'm not an expert in none of this. This is all my opinions, views from the revelations that I get, whether it's spiritual, whether it's divine, whether it's technology, whatever it is that I'm studying or got my attention or my focus on. But the bottom line is that when I look at my relationship with God and my experience and the road and the journey that I've traveled, then I know where those transformations take place. We have to be able to introspect. We have to be able to know where we've been wrong, where we've been right, and be able to look in that mirror and look at who we really are and some of the things that we need. And that's when we get those revelations. And the one thing that I remember, no matter what it is, whether it's like Esau and Jacob, be a sober mind. Sober mind. Sobriety has a lot to do with gluttony, addictions, substances, you name it. Some people not hooked on substances or greed or gluttony. Some people hooked on fashion. Some people hooked on money, you name it. But if you're a sober mind, then you can think, you can introspect, you can reflect, and you can understand some of the things that we may be doing to harm ourselves. Now, to close it off is that you notice I said we, because that's something I've learned to pay close attention to when people are talking. When people start saying y'all all the time, y'all need to, and then they have moments in their delivery where they'll switch to I, but they only switch to I when it's positive. Everything that's negative or toxic has to do with y'all. Don't you listen to that person. You watch that person. That's a manipulator, period. That's a sign of manipulation, because nothing negative applies to them, which means they have the inability to introspect. They have the inability to understand that there is no y'all, there's we. We are humanity. We have faults. We have addictions. We have appetites. We get hungry. Not y'all, it's us, we. So we can share those testimonies like I heard the men share today. Those same testimonies they gave apply to all of us. All of us are capable of that type of behavior. And in some cases, we share that type of behavior or got the same similar testimonies. Hey, I'm gonna end it now. Like I said, I don't do lives like I used to, but when I do, I want to come on here and just talk. As me and my friend at church always used to say, I want to come on here and pontificate a little bit. Since everybody pontificating these days, I'm going to come on here and pontificate a little bit myself. So it's always a pleasure. I hope I said something that you got something out of, but my main point today was to get my point across as far as what I learned today about Esau and Jacob, which was very enlightening from that men's ministry today, as well as some of the things I experienced afterwards. My name is DanLanPro. Continue to visit me on my channels, Webmaster Dan, DanLanPro, Steps Express over on YouTube. We got TikTok, we got Facebook, we got Chicago Bop Art Shorts, Steps Express. We got so many just different platforms that we put content on, and we steady bringing you more as God bless me to do. Till next time, my name is DanLanPro. Peace.